All right, guys, I'm going to be talking to my computer screen. So this is day 5, and I'm so happy that you're joining me. Some of you guys are on Facebook, some of you are with me live, and some of you will be watching the recording. So we've made it. We've made it to day 5 of our Better Life Challenge, and I have loved just seeing your comments, seeing you have aha moments, and seeing you just put into practice some of the things that we've been talking about, or even just experiencing your body, your body when you've been doing the meditation. So that has been great. If you haven't gotten caught up yet, that's okay. You will have all week to listen to the recordings, and depending on when you joined, I've been also emailing that day's recording, so you can also catch up that way. But after a week, everything is gonna disappear. All right, so to wrap it up, I want to talk about action, because day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, it feels like this Better Life Challenge, we've been talking a lot about being and not thinking and not action. And in fact, we exist in this world of action. And so I don't want you to think that what we're doing is, or what I'm suggesting is, that you just be, and that you don't act. That's not at all my intention. But what we have been doing, including the breath work, including the meditation, including not running away with the narration. I am absolutely in love with what one of the participants said, right? She is the Morgan Freeman of her mind, of her thoughts. And so when you are able to breathe, when you're able to take some time to meditate, when you're able to just have moments where you're not wrapped up in thinking, that allows your brain to rest. That allows you to actually, your unconscious mind, there's a part of you that is figuring stuff out. Einstein, he actually, and I don't, it's Einstein, but also Edison, they talked about having their genius, world-changing, life-changing ideas during these moments of rest. And so have you ever been in the shower and you're like, oh my gosh, you have a brilliant idea, or you remember something, and that's because you're probably not thinking about that idea. So it's when you're most relaxed, and when you're not actively and compulsively thinking about something, that the answers come to you. That said, there is a time for us to think. There is a time for us to utilize our brain and come up, utilize our brain and think critically, so that we can really participate in this life. And this morning I was walking the 2 little dogs, Corey and Mia. And as you know, we're nearing the fall. The fall is right around the corner, and it's still summertime. I just saw some leaves, and I thought, wow, in just a few weeks, the leaves they're gonna turn yellow, and most of the leaves on these trees are going to fall. And then we're gonna be upon winter, right? And during winter time, everything is dormant. But what is after winter? It's spring, and then it's full-blown summer. So nature has this pattern that we are part of nature, but just because we're so civilized, sort of, we forget ourselves, and we are able to think that we can go without giving ourselves a break. But if you look to nature and just see the patterns or the cycle of nature, you're able to see that nature also has a dormant period, and it has a period of pure impulse and creativity. And I'll be honest with you, this is one of the things that I was struggling with for a while, because I thought, man, I experienced one end of the spectrum, which was burnout from going, doing, just being productive and just never stopping. And so I thought, okay, well, then that must not be good. Productivity must not be good. But that's not the case at all. Any extreme, as you can see with the fires that are happening on the West Coast, any extreme is not good. And so there will be periods of pure bloom, as in the spring and in the summer where everything's green. And how that relates to us is there will be periods in our lives of pure creativity. And so I want to encourage you to take action. And on day 2, we talked about manifesting and the art of manifesting and creating what you want in your lives. And so I really want to encourage you to take whatever it is that we've learned and really know that, number one, I am not suggesting that you be dormant and that you just be all the time. I am suggesting that you take some time to rest and create, and to create something that you want in your life. So that is the place of action. One of the things that I have already seen in this group and through some of the emails that I've gotten from you guys is that, and I mentioned it yesterday, that despite all the tools in the toolbox that you have been getting, right? So these are tools, everything that we've been talking about, the meditations, the breath work, the tips and the guidelines on manifesting, these are all tools so that you can, as the challenge implies, live a better life. Some of you are still stuck in the struggle. And so I want to spend a little bit of time right now talking about this place of struggle, and that is my little dog. So Dr. Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins actually says, wherever your focus wherever your focus goes, that is where energy flows. You may have heard that before, right? And so an example that Tony Robbins uses is, let's say you're driving down a highway and there's a pole that you don't want to hit. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to hit the pole. I'm going to hit the pole. I'm going to hit the pole. What do you think is going to happen? So how many times in our lives, and this is an invitation for you to think about that, how many times in our lives do we focus on the things that we don't want in our lives, how many times in our lives do we focus on where we don't want to go instead of focusing on where we do want to go? And so if let's say you are, you're at work and you have a really annoying coworker, I bet that you probably focus on how annoying your coworker is, right? Or maybe it's your spouse and they have 8 good qualities and 2 bad ones, right? And you just focus on the 2 bad qualities. And so we do this with everything. I mean, this is just a human thing. We tend to really over-focus on the things that are not working, on the bad qualities. But if we want our lives to be better, we need to switch that around. We need to put the focus on where we want to go, even if it seems bleak. So if someone, and they have done studies on this, I was going to say, if someone has a certain illness, let's say it's cancer, it could be anything. And if they keep focusing on, they're just going to die, well, they're not going to make it, they're not going to make it, chances are they're not going to make it. But the person, and there are no guarantees in life, right? But you have to focus on healing. You have to focus on the positive outcome. With people, we have to focus on, especially if we want them in our lives, right? If we don't want the person in our lives, then okay, well, get them out of your life and move on. But if it's your coworker, if it's your child, if it's your spouse, if it's your dog, your best friend, or ourselves, how many times do we beat ourselves up over what we are not? We focus on what we don't have. We focus on what we're not. We focus on what we're missing versus focusing on what we do have, on the experiences that we do have. And when we begin to change our thoughts, we are going to begin to change the action that we take. Because why would you want to take action if you keep saying that something's not going to work out? It doesn't make sense. I see this in my business all the time. So people say they want something and then they don't actually believe it. And I actually want to show you something. I just thought of it. Hold on, let me find it. And then I'm going to share my screen. And I love this. And smile, you guys. I know I'm so serious, by the way. I am. And I'm actually not. I'm sort of a serious person. All right, let's see. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on, you guys. Let me see. Download image. There we go. So I really want to show you this because, I don't know, let's see, open. Because I want you to leave this little 5-day course armed with the understanding of what it takes to change, but also I want you to understand and to really reflect on, and I don't know why this is like it's in English, okay, it's like from a Chinese website or something. I want you to know what you're doing and the way that it's affecting the way you're taking action in life. Okay, so we all start with you can see the screen, give me a thumbs up. Okay, awesome. So we all start with the belief, okay? So give me an example. If you wanna, we can make this a little bit interactive and give me an example of something in your life that you've been wanting to change, okay? Or that you've been wanting to take action on. It can be anything. So go ahead and type it, and something that you kind of need help with, right? So I'm not gonna make it fully interactive, but I just wanna get an idea of what that thing is. All right, so let's say we all start with a belief. Okay, you know what? Let's start with marriage, okay? Because I know that you know relationships are huge, right? It doesn't have to be marriage. It could be in any relationship that you're in. So let's say that you don't believe that your relationship with your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, can change. And so you don't believe that this is what you believe. You don't believe that this relationship has a lot of potential. And so how much action do you think that you're going to take? You're not going to take that much action. But whether you believe or whether you believe that you can change or that your relationship can change or that it can't change, you're going to produce results. So if you do nothing, let's say you want to start a business and you do nothing, well, you're going to produce results. The results, it's called failure, right? If you have a relationship and you don't believe that this relationship can blossom into something better, what kind of action are you going to take? You're not going to take action that can make the relationship better. And so you are going to produce results, okay? So if you don't believe that your relationship can get better, it doesn't have a lot of potential, that's going to determine the amount of action that you take. And so you don't put a lot of effort into your relationship. So then what happens? More and more distance is created between you and your loved one. And so when your spouse or your loved one starts ignoring you, then you're like, you see, it affects your belief. And then you say, you see, you know, he or she doesn't really care, or this friendship or whatever, that relationship really isn't what I thought it was at one point. And so your belief in that relationship goes down. And so you're not able to tap into the potential of that relationship. And so with time, you can see that you take less and less action, or maybe you even start doing things that are damaging the relationship even more, right? You start gossiping, you start cheating. I mean, I'm just making stuff up right now, right? So the same thing can happen with your health. You don't believe that you can lose 50 pounds. And so you're not able to tap in to your body's ability to heal itself. So what actions do you take? If you don't believe, then maybe you're still going to continue eating processed foods, junk food, drinking, soda, alcohol, whatever it is. And so of course you're going to produce results, right? Those results, weight gain or not losing weight, that is going to feed into your belief in a negative way. And so your belief that you can actually lose weight is going to go down. Can you see how you enter this super depressive cycle of success, right? Or rather failure. But the opposite is true. What if you actually start feeding your belief that you are able to change? Then you're going to be able to tap into that potential. You're going to, since you believe it and you're feeding your belief that your marriage can change, that your relationship can change, then you're going to start to take action. You're going to start maybe, combing your hair a little bit, and you're going to start making your spouse, a meal, and you're going to suggest going on a walk, whatever those things are that are important to you. And then you're going to produce results. And you know what? No matter what, you're going to produce results, whether your loved one is responsive or not, okay? Because that's going to give feedback. But chances are your spouse is going to notice over time, like, wait, what's up with him? Wait, what's up with her? And then that you're going to see improvements in that relationship. And then that is going to feed your belief cycle. And that is going to allow you to tap into your potential. We were just using the example with weight loss. It's exactly the same thing. I remember I thought, you know what? I know this is going to work for me. Because I believed that something was going to work for me, I was feeding my belief. I was able to take action. When I took action, when I started exercising, when I started eating the right food, I was able to produce results. So an inch lost here, a pound lost there, that made me believe that I could do it. And so then I continued. And this is exactly the way the belief and success cycle work. And so I want to invite you to think about how are the different ways that you are feeding your belief and start taking action. Okay, so let me take a sip of water, and you can go ahead and write down any questions that you have. So I promised, so this is wrapping it up, but I wanted to talk about, okay, so what does this look like? Everything that we've been talking about, what does this look like in terms of everyday practice? Okay, so on day one, we talked about acceptance and surrendering. And really what it meant was, what we really discussed was not resisting life, right? Not always fighting life and fighting our thoughts. We talked about accepting our thoughts. And so the way that accepting our thoughts, accepting whatever it is that we feel. So let's say the example that I used earlier in the week was my mother had just been visiting me, and I felt sad when she left. I felt sad. She's 80 years old. I don't know, hopefully I'll get to see her with COVID in December. And so I just accepted and surrendered to the feeling without adding narration to it. This is something that you can carry into your life every single day. Your feelings are whatever they are. And if you just allow yourself to feel whatever feelings you're feeling without adding drama to it, without adding constant narration, and remembering that there is a time for thought, right? There is a time for you to analyze things critically. But then a lot of times, as Eckhart Tolle would say, that thinking is superfluous. We don't need to be constantly analyzing every single detail of our lives. Okay, so day 2, we talked about the art of manifesting. That's exactly what we have been talking about. This is an invitation. This course, I hope, was an invitation for you to really think about what it is that you want to create in your lives. Because as we just examined right now with the belief and success cycle, we're constantly creating results. And most people are not aware of that. They're not aware that they're creating results. They're just living, right? And they're thinking that they're victims to life and that life is just happening to them. But no, we have a big hand in the things that happen in our lives, and we can, to some extent, control that, right? And when we can't control, we can just let it be. So I'm super curious to see what it is that you want to create in your lives. And I really hope that you'll, message me and let me know what it is that you are creating. And remember to not get stuck in the struggle, because challenges are a normal part of being human. And so when the challenges come, just welcome them. Remember that challenges are going to give you clarity, right? I know I don't want that. So if I know I don't want that, then I have clarity about what I do want. And then also ask yourself, how is this experience helping me grow as a human being and helping me learn? On day 3, we did some breath work. We talked about 1 breath. We talked about square breathing, and I showed you how to use that tool. And then we did the 20-minute yoga nidra meditation. So what I want to wrap up there and how we can use that, you can breathe. We're constantly breathing, right? We're constantly breathing and not being aware that we're breathing. And the breath is just breathing itself. But we can check in with ourselves throughout the day. So I think it was Valerie, someone asked, oh, my little dog is at the foot of the door. So funny. There you go. We can, so Valerie was asking, like, I wake up in the morning and the first thing that comes to mind are negative thoughts. So you can begin to develop a practice of gratitude. So if you feel like you don't have any control when you wake up, my suggestion would be, and I'm sure that you're not alone, by the way, my suggestion would be to write down some of the things that you are grateful for. And so do that, not right now, but you can do it right now, but do that when you're awake. This has to be an exercise for you if it's something that is out of your control when you wake up. And with time, when you wake up, you can have that little list on your, next to your bed, and read it. So, and remind yourself, or when you go to the bathroom, you can have a little sticky note that says, with the question, what am I grateful for? So that question can be there so that you can remind yourself what you're grateful for. So my personal practice is I wake up, and it really just depends. I wake up, and sometimes I'll meditate as soon as I wake up. Okay, when you go to sleep at night, it is absolutely like hitting the reset button. Whatever momentum, Abraham Hicks talks about this, but this is also just common sense, right? That let's say you have had a very stressful day, and when you have been so stressed out in the day and you almost can't wait to go back to sleep because you're just like, I need to restart my day. That's exactly what happens when you sleep. And so go to sleep, you reset your day, you stop the momentum, and in the morning, you do have a blank slate, and we do get to decide what we want to create with the day. And so what I do is sometimes, maybe half the time, I like to just do a 10-minute meditation or just some breathing exercises for just a few minutes. And then I think about, or I just count, I literally count the things that I'm grateful for. So one of the first things that I do when I wake up is I go outside with the dogs, first with the 2 big dogs, and I'm out there in the elements. I can see a lot of times it's only 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's still dark. And I start saying what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the moon. I'm grateful for the stars. I'm grateful that we live in this house. I'm grateful that, you know, I woke up today. I'm grateful for the dogs. I'm grateful for their playfulness. I'm grateful that my husband is getting a good night's sleep. I'm grateful for the way that the wind feels. It doesn't have to be big, you guys. You don't need to be like, I'm grateful that I'm making X amount of money and that, you know, I'm this or that. That's the extra stuff, right? It's really being grateful for whatever you want. I'm grateful that the birds are singing. I mean, I hadn't thought about it, but those are the things that I find myself saying that I'm grateful for. And that is how I start my day. That is how I keep my negativity at bay. And then throughout the day, I check in with myself, and sometimes I just breathe. I shared with you that sometimes I'm just like, and then my husband's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing's wrong. I'm just breathing. Like, I'm just checking in with myself. And then, so that is for day 3 of breath work and meditation. You can check in with yourself and you can stop and do a 20-minute meditation, which is the no Yoga Nidra meditation. As you saw, you don't need to be blank. I'm guiding you in that meditation so that you follow the words that I'm saying in that recording, and you're feeling the different parts of your body. And what that does also, it allows you to feel embodied, like be in your body, because so many of us are like out there in the ether space, right? And then finally, on day 4, yesterday, we talked about just being present and being mindful. And being mindfulness is simply being present. It's just being there. Being there, doing what you're doing. So if you are taking a walk, you're really enjoying that walk. If you are playing with your dogs, you're really just playing with your dogs. And I've shared this, that it's so easy for us to be in the past, to be in the future. And so this morning when I was walking the dogs, this one is Corey. He's super, he just loves me so much. He's super, super needy. And part of my mind was like the things that I needed to do. And I stopped myself and I said, you know what? I'm going to be here right now with and enjoy what was in front of me, which was this super happy, like it makes me emotional, this super happy little dog that is just so loving and that is so happy to be in nature and just wants to be with me, you know? And so that makes life so awesome and sweet. We don't necessarily need to do more. We don't necessarily, I mean, we can do more, and I want you to pursue your dreams, but we don't have to constantly be in this pursuit of more. And that is it in terms of the challenge. Oh, Cassidy said, I needed to hear this today. I'm bad at picking out the bad and not focusing on the good beliefs. Yes, right? So that is it with the challenge, you guys. Let me see if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions. I haven't really gotten any questions. But so this concludes, I'm almost sad, you guys. This concludes the challenge, the 5-day challenge. The group is going to self-destruct, and I'm gonna give you, what are we, Saturday? I'm gonna give you 1 full week to catch up on everything. In the next few days, I am going to be announcing my 5-week course, which is Life 2.0 Now Academy. Do you guys want to hear about that? Yes, no, yes, no. And then listen, I want to make something clear. If you know, if my gift to you was this 5-day challenge, I don't care. I mean, obviously I care, but I'm just saying, like, if you do it, great, but this doesn't come with strings attached. I was truly giving you, I was truly giving you the 5-day challenge with no strings attached. For those of you who don't know me, I wanted you to get a taste of who I am. And then just know that I have, I'll tell you about it. I'm also looking on Facebook. I'll tell you about the 5-week course that I'm offering. And then, you know, you are totally welcome to get more information on that. Okay, so I don't know why speaker view. It's very weird, this speaker view stuff. Okay, hold on a second. So I see Mary on Zoom, and Mary was terrified of being on Zoom, and now you are forever on the recording, Mary. That's hilarious. So just smile for the camera. I don't know why it's showing you. Yeah, this thing has been a little bit strange. All right, so let me just take a few minutes, and then you can hop off if you like, or you can stay on. You can ask me questions, whatever you want, you guys. But let me tell you about my 5-week course. I'm so excited about it. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I wanted to do something that really came from a place to serve, and that comes from a place to serve, and not about business, not about making more money. Although if you want to make more money and you want to be pursue the business goals and all that stuff, great, but this is not the course, right? This course is for people who are looking to be more peaceful, more joyful, and just have that inner peace of mind, that want better relationships, better relationship with themselves. So what we did this week in the 5-day challenge was just a taste of what we're going to be doing. So let me tell you really quickly what the 5 weeks are going to be about. I'm so excited about it, and I've told you my story already, but the very brief backup is that I am successful, but I was very, very successful making incredible income, like income beyond anything that I even thought was possible. I just met my husband. I had just moved from California. We have moved back to Dallas, and I still felt like there was something missing. And I think that I had worked, I had worked myself to the ground. And so I was just really dissatisfied. And I felt empty, and I'm like, okay, there's got to be more to life than, the material pursuit of things. And so my journey began, and after many years of personal development, reading a gazillion books, going to retreats, workshops, healers, like all this stuff, I have put together 5 weeks worth of material that I believe have made me into someone that I like. I mean, I really like myself, and I'm having a good life without feeling like I need to constantly pursue more, because that was me. And I know that that's a lot of you, you just feel that maybe, more. Listen, if you don't have a good job and you want a good job, go get the good job, right? But I'm telling you that it's not just a question of the job. It's not just a question of the marriage. It's you. It's the work that you need to do with yourself. So week 1, and this is going to be all available online, and you'll have lifetime access. And this was a free thing that I just gave this week. I will deliver. So you'll have the online content on top of that. For the 5 weeks that I'm running this, I plan to go live. I've just decided that, I plan to go live every single week. And so week 1, I paid for this through this research company to create like a survey, so that so to create an actual assessment that is scientifically validated, so that you can assess where you are, and you can actually measure yourself where you are 5 weeks from now, 10 weeks from now, a year from now. So to better guide you on your journey, and so that you can see, okay, where am I struggling? What areas do I really need to work on? It's going to be awesome. The first week is going to be the assessment, and then the shift. It's going to be about me sharing the shift, the mental and the psychological shift that I had to make, and I teach you how to make that shift so that you can just choose joy and go after the things that you want in your life, and surrender and make the change, and not have things that happen make you crash, right? So like the pandemic, the stuff that's happening just all over the world, politics, racial, like social justice, and the fires and everything. It doesn't mean that you're going to be passive, like, oh, okay, all this is happening. No, not at all. But how can life happen and you not be devastated by the things that are happening? So we will really be focusing on the mindset shift in week 1. I am so excited about this, you guys. I have done a lot of therapy, a lot of books, a lot of workshops, a lot of healers to finally get this, and it has completely changed my life, and I can't wait to share this with you. So it's just what you learned this week with like the, you know, the law of attraction and Abraham Hicks with manifesting. That's like a tiny portion of it, and Eckhart Tolle. Okay, let me move a little bit faster. So week 2 is going to be most like what we have been doing here. We are going to, type A personality over here, we are going to be learning how to master our energy using jargon-free meditations, breath work. We're going to be doing more breath work, some more movement strategies. So like in the middle of the day when you're stressed out, you could just drop and get grounded. Okay, that has been huge for me because I'm like so out there a lot of the time. And I have decided to offer metabolic typing. So metabolic typing is the way that I eat, and there's going to be a module on food as medicine, and this will include the metabolic typing test, which alone is $150. Okay, so, and I'm including it in the course. It's going to be so awesome. Okay, so that's week 2. Week 3 is going to be it's for the super busy person who is really good at accomplishing goals, but you need help with creating habits, because so this module is going to be about creating habits, structures, and routines so that you don't feel so crazy all the time, especially in 2020. God knows what's going to happen with 2021, because I can tell you to breathe. I can tell you to, you know, meditate and to think about only the good stuff. But I don't tell you just to think about the good stuff, but to focus on what you do want to create. But if you're not creating habits, if you don't have a kind of structure that works for you, you're just going to be more challenged. You're always going to feel frazzled. And that used to be me. I was continually frazzled. I will sit there in one of the modules with you and I will go over like a time blocking system that has completely changed my life and reduced my sense of overwhelm and craziness. Okay, and then week 4, I like to say that this week 4 offers us the keys to the kingdom to relationships. It's the first thing that we're going to focus on is relationship to ourselves, because you know, if the way that we relate to ourselves, if we don't respect ourselves, if we don't love ourselves, if we don't truly take care of ourselves, our relationships with other people, they're going to be crap, you guys, including our spouse, if you have children, including with your children. And so week 4 is really going to focus on awareness, on compassion, on vulnerability. And then we're going to focus on relationship to others. And one of the major focuses of that module on week 4 is going to be on expectations, because I think that is where we just expect so much from people. And that's where we tend to go wrong. And then finally, I'm super excited about this. I'm excited about a lot of things. It's finally week 5. It's going to be connection, about connection, right? It's connection to ourselves, connection to nature. I grew up in the concrete jungle in New York City, and you know, I always wanted nature. And we've been living here for a few years, and I just had this realization that I'm like, life is passing us by and I want to be connected to nature. So our connection to nature, even if you live in a city, we can find you nature, and then finding joy. So, you know, simple little things. It's your physical environment really does matter. So we're going to be focusing a bit on creating a sacred space for yourself. You know, some of you may not have any space. And so what are some of the things that you can do to create a little sacred space for yourself? And the reason that I'm holding my cup is this is scientifically proven. There's a book called Joyful. And, you know, just little things like a pretty cup can make a difference. So what are some of the things that we can do to add pleasure? So this is an outside job, right? I've been talking about the inside all this time, but this is an outside job. It's about adding pleasure in tiny little ways. I have a friend that always says like, oh my God, it's the little things. It makes me so happy. Like a beautiful pen, you know, my essential oil that I like to smell, like a nice glass, a little journal. And it's not about materialistic things. Well, yes, there are some material things, but I'm not suggesting that you go out there and, you know, spend money on crap you don't need at all. And it's one of the reasons why, even though I have my business online and yes, I promote products, I'm very careful, even though people ask me all the time, I'm very careful when they're like, can you link this? Can you link this? I don't want to be the person that's like constantly telling people to buy stuff, you know, that they don't need, especially when I know that people don't have like tons of money just to throw around. And so that is my personal thing. But anyway, so it's really connection to nature, finding your joy and defining that joy, and then connection to the community and doing good. And so that's week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. So I'll give you the link to that. And so this is the first time that I'm going to do it. It's going to be my time. Obviously it's my time, but in addition to having the, you know, the whole online course, you'll have access to it forever. And I'll be doing live, like I have been, not every single day, but every week, and a Q&A, breakout rooms. I'm so excited about it. And that's it. I'll give you the link so you can check it out yourself. The price is on there, and then this is the first time that I'm offering the course. And so it's that's the lowest that it'll be. It's going to go up. I need to put like a little timer to say that when it's going to go up, and it's going to start on November 1st. So the first module will be ready to go on November 1st, but you can do it whenever you want. And so I'm going to be closing the registration before then. I'm going to do it. This is the only time in the year that I'm going to do that. And then that's it, right? Because you know what I realized, and working with you guys, I mean, I realized that through my other job, but I realized that like I need the connection. I personally need the connection. I'm not just interested in offering a class online course and then not having any contact. I need to see your faces. I need to see your words. I want to see what people are thinking. I want to be able to help. So that's why I've decided to just offer the course one time this year, and then, you know, next year I'll offer it. And that's it, you guys. Okay, so I'll provide the link, and thank you. Thank you for being a part of, you know, this thing with me, you guys. I really hope that you got a lot of value, and I enjoyed it, and I hope that you create the change that you want in your lives, you guys, really, truly. So thank you.